Thank you, Michelle, for organizing this tour. I started writing in about 2010 or so, more seriously. I wrote a few poems and stuff like that before then, but in 2010 we started going to a writing group at the library, and that's when I started writing short stories and things like that, and that kind of ballooned into full work. So I realized it was what I wanted to do professionally pretty quickly. Once we started the short stories, it was just kind of fun, to get lost in this world that you're creating and to get to explore these different characters. So I really like that. The ideas, they come from different places. The Muse book, The Life and Times of No One in Particular, that one came from an RPG character I'd had, a role-play game. And we're always joking around about our muses and how they're evil and they're, they've abandoned us right now. So one day, me and another member of the group just created muse characters that we were going to have just mess with people. And when I was getting ready to write a book for NaNo, National Novel Writing Month, in 2011, I just started thinking about that character that I had and started thinking about more deeply about a muse, and well, how would they feel about that? What would they think about people cursing them out and just that kind of thing. So that's where that came from. The short story that I put into the Lyrical Muse anthology came from a song that I'd heard. Just Carrie Underwood's Two Black Cadillacs. And it was just such a descriptive song, and it was just so dramatic, and just kind of got me thinking about a situation where that kind of a thing is going on, and what might somebody do besides what the characters did in the song. So that's where that came from. And Stains on the Soul, that came from an image I had in a dream. Basically I got thinking about what I was going to do for another National Novel Writing Month, and just one night I started seeing this image of somebody burning at the stake, and then I had a dream about a world with all this magic and everything, and that just got me thinking about witches and the witch trials, and the book just kind of came out of that. And I have another one that I wrote for Pagan Writers Press. They were looking for holiday themed works, so I just thought it might be kind of cool to, instead of say do a Christmas story or something like that, to theme it around New Year's. So that's where that came from. I mean, the ideas come from all kinds of different places, but I get a lot of them from talking with CP, my husband, because he's just an idea machine. I mean, he just gets all these ideas from everything. So sometimes it's like sitting and talking about, just like a vague thought that I might have about a story just helps me to, build something off of that. So that's where the ideas come from. I have a couple of different works in progress right now. I started them in 2013 with the challenge that a bunch of us were doing to write 3 books in 3 months. And one of them is about a house where no one really stays there very long. And I got that idea just from a house in my neighborhood. There's this one house very close to me that's constantly got a for rent or for sale sign outside. And I just started thinking about, well, why? Why would somebody be leaving all the time? And so I kind of, worked up a story with that. And I also have a vampire story that I don't want to say too much on. I'm still kind of working it out, but and I also have a fantasy story that I'm hoping to get out in 2014. So that's what I've been working on for now. The craziest writing idea I've ever had is probably the Muse book, The Life and Times of No One in Particular. I just can't really think of any that are told from a Muse's point of view. So just like thinking of something like that and having this Muse, just like going off on people, for the things that they say. It was kind of a crazy idea, but it was fun. I really enjoyed writing that one. So that would be the craziest. Like I said, Stains on the Soul came from a dream I had, and it tells the story of a young woman named Fiona. She's dealing with a lot of things during her last summer at home before going away to college, including these really horrible nightmares of a woman burning at the stake. They feel so real to her that she just cannot shake them. She's also having a hard time breaking it off with this guy she's been seeing while being drawn to another one who scares her, but she can't understand why. I'm really into New Age and metaphysical stuff, like meditation, reincarnation, and crystals, so a lot of that gets weaved into the story as Fiona tries to figure everything out. I really enjoyed exploring all the emotions that Fiona goes through and the lessons she learns as she takes this journey, and I hope that readers do too. I'd have to say there's been a couple of things. One is, there's so many great people in the writing community, and it's been great getting to know them and getting to help each other out by sharing and just sharing information too and learning from each other. And it's always really nice to see people review your work and see that they really enjoyed it. I think that's been huge. The other one has been, it's tied to reviews, and there are a couple of authors who, their books I really enjoyed, and they had read mine, and they wrote back these reviews that they were like glowing and they loved it, and I freaked out. Just like seeing somebody whose work that you really liked, writing back to say that they enjoyed what you did, that just feels so good, and so that was great. I think it's really hard to pin down one bit of advice that aspiring author should get, but I actually think there's a couple things. One is, do not go into this, do not sit there and publish because you think, I'm going to make so much money off of writing books. It's not going to happen that way. If you're not writing for the enjoyment of writing and the love of writing, a lot of times that that is going to seep into the story, and I think that's the problem. You have to have a love of what you're doing, and you have to really enjoy it and be doing it for those reasons. Another would be, there's so much out there about writing, about the craft of writing, about what you shouldn't do, what you should do, and I think it's so important to read through this information, take it in, and realize that some of these things may not work for you. some of the things that work for one person are not going to work for another person, and you just need to take time to read it all, take it in, and decide what does work for you, what is best for you. So I think those are a couple of really important things that writers should be thinking about. This is going to sound really funny, but I think if I could jump into any book, I might have to say the Sweet Valley series, just because it's so crazy. Yeah, I mean, there's so much weird stuff that happens in there, and it's so over the top and unbelievable. I think it would just be kind of fun to maybe jump into that world for a little bit and just kind of watch everything like going crazy, and all the weird things that people are doing. It's like I said, I mean, it's just such an unbelievable, like, just over the top world. It would just be a lot of fun just to kind of be a fly on the wall in it for a little while. I think one of my favorite scenes in Stains is towards the end, and I can't say a whole lot about it, but because I don't want to give anything away, but there is, she's been exploring her dreams and everything, and doing these meditations where she's having different visions throughout the story, and there's this one that she gets that basically just completely like floors her. It destroys her, and I mean, what she sees is just so upsetting that she has to just run away a minute and try and get herself together. And that was a pretty cool scene to write. I enjoyed that one. There's also Clutter I put out this year, the story that's centered around New Year's. I think one of my favorite scenes in that would be where she's basically, because this girl Justine has found a list of resolutions, and she's trying to get them all done. And there's this one scene where her boss called her, and he's a little bit demanding and a little bit annoying, and she just has this moment where she has like this little fantasy of what she'd really like to do, and that was pretty entertaining too. So I'd say those are my favorites. I like the whole e-publishing thing and indie publishing. I think that it has opened up a lot of doors for a lot of people, and I think it's put a lot of control back into a lot of people's hands. I mean, you have the small presses now, you have the independent people, and I mean, they're just able to come out there and maybe tell stories that maybe some of the bigger houses are not going to want to put out there. Maybe they just are not willing to, say, take a risk on somebody that's new and unknown, or maybe they think a story is a little too different. And I think it's cool that it's giving people an opportunity to maybe take chances on things that might not have been given the chance. And I think that indie publishing, I think it's here to stay. I think it's going to keep growing, and I mean, there'll probably be some changes along the way, but I think for the most part it's here to stay, and I think that it's just going to keep growing and keep getting better. And it's really important, to take time to relax, to get away for a minute, because especially when you're doing the writing and you're writing all these stories and you're editing and you're writing blurbs and you're on social media and this and that, are just spending so much time, you know, sitting in front of a computer, staring at a screen, and I mean, it can get a little bit, you know, you can get a little bit tired, you can get a little bit burnt out in a way, and so I think it's very important to, you know, have something to, you know, just go and relax and kind of recharge a little bit. And you know, I mean, I love to listen to music. I think that, I mean, it's great for, I mean, one, it can be pretty inspiring. It's a great way to, you know, maybe if you're having, you know, some, like, if you're upset one day or, you know, whatever, you could sit there, you could put on a song, you know, maybe it's a little angry, maybe a little Miranda Lambert or something, you know, it's like, and you can just kind of, you know, sing along with it and just kind of get all those emotions out. Just get out the aggression, get out the, you know, if you're a little upset or whatever, and just kind of purge it and, you know, get it out of you. And, you know, so that's really cool. I like reading. I like to just sit for a little while and just read. Watching TV. We love Doctor Who and like different things like The Voice and Titus and Married with Children reruns and, you know, stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I also like to, you know, take some time to, you know, to sit and, you know, do a meditation. And I also like, I'm a first degree Reiki practitioner, so I love going to the circles, you know, and you know, just like giving Reiki, receiving, and just like hanging out with everybody and chatting and going to writing meetings and getting to know people. And so that's mostly what I do. Plus we have a bunch of little fur brats at home that, you know, it's kind of fun to play with them, you know, so you know, they jump in your lap and they want to get petted, and you know, they want to play with their toys and go on a walk. So those are good ways to, you know, relax and, you know, just get away from, you know, work for a little bit. When I grew up, I wanted to be a couple different things when I was younger. The first thing that I really wanted to do, and the first thing that I thought about that really kind of stuck with me for a long time is singing. I love music. I love to, you know, put on a CD and just sing along with it. I love getting lost in the emotions of the music, so that's something that I wanted to do. And also I took a journalism class in high school, and you know, by the time I finished the class, I wanted to, you know, go into yearbook and, you know, study it more. So that was another thing I wanted to do. And I actually interned at a newspaper for a while as part of a school project. So even that was a lot of fun, and that was, again, something that I was really interested in. Let's see, what's a quirky writing habit? Yeah, I like to write it, you know, later in the day. A lot of the time, like at night, for whatever reason, it just flows a little better than. I usually listen to some music before I start writing, just to get my, you know, head in the right place and everything. But when I'm having a little bit of a hard time and I need a little inspiration, I actually have a crystal kit, and I did a blog post about that you can find on my site, jamielwhite.com, JAMIELWHITE.com. And basically I just put I got different stones that have like different properties, and plus one that has the word inspiration on it. And you know, sometimes when I'm writing, I'll take the, you know, stones and I'll arrange them on the desk in front of me. So, you know, that's one of my quirky habits.